Hello and welcome to the Nordic Stitches YouTube podcast, all about the knitting and the yarn and the fiber related fun. I am Lily and I am your hostess. I'm a knitwear designer, an avid spinner, knitter and crocheter from central Norway at the present time. Welcome to new and returning viewers. If you're new here, you might want to start heading back to episode 23 or maybe even further back. I am back to recording on my Canon G7XI something camera. I now have my show notes on the phone, so whenever you see me looking down, not paying attention to the camera lens, that's because I'm checking the show notes, making sure that everything is okay for you. I have quite a bit of things to talk about today, so I think we just need to get started with the announcements and the admin section. Hold the phone the right way. So first and foremost, you can find and follow and contact Nordic Stitches in the following manner. You can join the Nordic Stitches Facebook group. Just a heads up, if you don't answer the questions I ask you before you enter, you will not be entered. There is a crap load of various groups on Facebook, and this one is not to join just at random. If you're interested in the Nordic Stitches podcast or designs, you're very welcome. You will have to answer more than yes or no. I've already had to boot a couple of people in there just because they were in there posting spams, and it's just not what the group is for. So please make sure to answer the questions provided before you click submit or whatever it says in your language. I am most active on Instagram, and before anybody goes to the comment section and saying I don't have Instagram, I always say, and I always mean this because it is a fact, you can click on the link provided down below. Everything I talk about is linked down below. You click it either via your phone, your tablet, or your computer, and my Instagram will pop up. You can scroll your way down. You can even click on the picture and read the text. You can either you can even click on the hashtags and the tags for the people to go to them as well via that link. Amazing, isn't it? Also, if you see a red circle around my face, or my logo rather, on Instagram, that means that I've posted something to my stories, and that is also available through all those tablets that I just mentioned. It is amazing. You don't need Instagram to stay tuned. You just need this video and the link below. There is a email that you can contact Nordic Stitches on now. It's updated to all the patterns now found on Ravelry. If you have a pattern question, please always read the pattern. It's all in there. I don't know how many people have messaged me saying I sent you this email a long time ago and I haven't heard back from you, and Ravelry said too. Well, that's the starters. The email provided, given to you by Ravelry without my consent, for them decided that this is how you contact me. I have two issues with that. The first I've touched upon, without my consent. I've never said to Ravelry, yes, sure, pass this email, further to people without me saying okay to it. And the second is that they tell you to contact me in that way. That is not okay. Ravelry did not get to tell you or me how to get in contact with any kind of business. So when you buy my patterns or download any of my free patterns, make sure to go to the contact box on the pattern. It's right there. Don't just buy a pattern, download it, and go to the cast on bit, because there's a lot of information there that you're missing. Also, make sure that you write pattern support when you contact me via the email provided in the pattern. Every pattern is updated. You just have to go to your Ravelry library and update it, and just, open it and find the email. You don't have to print it or anything. You can just click on it. That's how easy it is. I've opened this email for pattern support, closed down the Facebook page for pattern support because the Facebook page, amazing English, was open for pattern support, but it came to the point that it was just another checklist, and 2019 is about simplifying things for me, so yeah, email. Also, if you have any kind of inquiries in terms of the podcast or business, that's also the email to contact me. Everything I talk about in the podcast and the email is in the box below. You just click on show more under the title of the video, and the thumbs, make sure to click that thumbs up, by the way, while you're still, you know, rumbling down there, and click on show more again, whatever that says in your language, and just scroll your way through and find a ton of information. It isn't difficult, it's right there, all you have to do is click. I also want to say, wow, thank you for your trust in me and my video editing and video storytelling by going over to my second, very close to being released YouTube channel. I touched upon this in full detail in the previous episode, and I'm gonna link that here, I think. If the eye pops up here now, just bear with me, but I think it's on the left of me when it is on your right. This always confuses me. Anyway, I touched upon this in full in previous episodes, so just go check that out, or click the link below and just read about it on the information page on the YouTube channel, because there's an information page on every YouTube channel. I've already said it will not be personal or private. My face will appear on the channel, but it will have nothing to do with me or my personal life. Again, I can't believe I have to say this again. Anyway, I understand that a lot of people who feel that they know me are very eager, but if that is the reason that you think that you want to see this channel, that channel is not for you. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to the almost 200 people who have clicked subscribe at this point. I can't believe I'm saying almost 200 people without having uploaded the first video, so you know, no pressure. So there's that. And now for the Summer Shorties Suck Collection 2019. Oh yes, I've talked about this before, but I think it's time to show you 4 out of 5 patterns and talk about the yarn, don't you? Okay, so first of all, the patterns will be released May 1st. The original idea was to release it June 1st, but due to circumstances that I'm not going to touch upon because it's private, and also because I'm traveling, I won't be able to do that. Ergo, May 1st. So, first, thank you to Helen of Giddy Yarns and Giddy Knits podcast. Helen, how I love Helen. She's been one of those podcasts that I just watched from, you know, day one. She's amazing. You've heard me talk about her and her yarn on numerous occasions. I bought her advent calendar for last year. I've bought several of her sock yarns. You've seen me knit up her sock yarns and mention her podcast because it is great. She is one of those who has a wonderful and lovely and down-to-earth podcast who doesn't have a whole lot of subscribers. I don't understand that. So please go to the box below the video, click your way through and check out and subscribe to her channel, because it is worth your while, I promise. She is talented beyond my comprehension when it comes to dyeing yarn, and I am so happy to have her on the team. She is providing us with official yarns, colorways for this sock club. You don't have to knit the socks in her yarn, but there will be a percentage discount if you buy my patterns. In the pattern you will find a percent discount for her yarns, these yarns that I'm going to show you. And if you buy her yarns, those specific yarns, you will get a discount to my club. See what we did there? It's a collaboration. It's wonderful. Supporting small makers and independent people. It is amazing. So, the 5 patterns are named Anemoniro. Oh shit, I have to say this in English, don't I? It's Latin. Anemona nemorosa. Anemone nemorosa? I don't know how you would say that in English, because I always say it with a Norwegian accent. Anyway, probably blushing now because that was embarrassing. It is called Hvit Vase in Norwegian. And it is one of my favorite flowers. It springs only in the northern hemisphere. It blossoms only in the northern hemisphere, and it just every time that appears, you know that okay, summer is almost here. And this is the pattern and colorway for Anemona nemorosa. These are ankle socks. And the yarn Helen dyed up is just amazing. And this is the pattern. You have a cable on both sides, the faux cable down here, and some lacy parts in between. Very airy and perfect for the summer. And this is Anemona nemorosa knit up in Anemona nemorosa by Helen. I've knit up these. And ankle socks are so much fun because they don't really take long, do they? This equals one sock, well, almost, if you were to knit a pair with regular legs. So, yay for things going fast and doesn't take a whole lot of place in your lap or in your purse in summer. Anemona nemorosa. I've also knit up Anemona nemorosa in yarn that I was gifted by Mel of Mad Madam Mel YouTube channel and botanically dyed yarns from the Orkney Islands. Amazing. I just love how this knits up. Huh? That's botanically dyed. Amazing. So that was the Anemona nemorosa pattern. I've also knit up two more in the botanically dyed yarn, and I will touch upon that in not too long. I'll talk about every pattern in full once everything is knit up and ready to go. Just a quick look at Heather. If you can't tell by now, it's a wildflowers theme for the patterns, and obviously also the sock yarns. So this is Heather. Very fitting with a lot of purples in there, oranges, because the heather, the leaves, they are actually leaves. They don't really look like it, but the greens on the heathers are leaves, and they turn this orange in fall if the conditions are correct. And I don't know if that was deliberately done by Helen, but that is pretty brilliant. And the front has a texture and lace to it, like so. Just love how this comes out. That was Heather. Did I knit Heather? No, I have not knit Heather up in Melanie's yarn yet. I'm not sponsored by Melanie. I just really wanted to use that yarn for something special, because it was special to me, because it was such a wonderful gift. Anyway, this is Dandelion. And this is just remarkably, if you ever picked dandelions and got the stains, this is, to me, the perfect combination of the center of a dandelion, the grass, and the stains that you get from the milky substance in the stems of the flower. So the green will be the grass, the brown is the stains, and the orange here is just the perfect center of the dandelion. I love it. So that's how the dandelion color knits up stockinette. And this is what dandelion looks like in the front. As you can see, this has a garter toe. The other one did not have garter toes. I provide you in this sock club with 4 different toe decreases: garter, stockinette, seed stitch, and double seed stitch, and how to incorporate them into any sock pattern. So that will follow for you to play along and match to whatever pattern you feel like, which is always fun. So that was Dandelion in that yarn, and then I knit up Dandelion in Melanie's yarn, like so. And as you can see here, I went for the not at all anything fancy toe. And you can see the difference that makes. I'm just gonna make a puppet show here. Hello, it's the puppet show. Oh my goodness, the face on me there had to be amazing, huh? So that is the dandelion difference. As you can see, here the garters just continues into the toe. Amazingly many opportunities for you to play around. So much fun. And then the last, I have 4 out of 5 patterns. The last one I have to show you is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I will pop a picture up on the screen while I'm done with this with all the yarns from Helen. But this is Wild Orchid in the yarn that I was gifted from Melanie. This texture here actually is called Chinese Waves. I have a very special love for this specific texture. It reminds me of honeycombs, and I fell in love with this texture so many years ago, and I never found it. I just never managed to find it via a Google search, just because I didn't know at that time that each, you know, texture had its own name in English. Here we just say, texture. Or, patterned. But this actually had a name, and when I first got to know the patterns of Britta Mikkelborg, it was in one of her pattern books, which are patterns for different cloths, so washcloths, dishcloths, stuff like that. And she had actually used this. So that was the first pattern from the book that I knit up, determined not only to knit that up, but also to incorporate into my own designs in the future. And I did it, yes! Because I finally found it a few years ago on interwebs, Chinese Waves, and I was like, thank you. So that was just so brilliant. So not only have I finally been able to put it into a design that I am super happy with, but I also know the name, Chinese Waves. History lesson for you right there. So, I think this would actually look quite good with a seed stitch toe or a double seed stitch toe. Don't you? Maybe even garters, because they have some garters, well, garter effect almost in there. Cool. I will pop up a picture of all the hanks of the club yarns here with the information. So 24th of March, which was yesterday, we received a whole lot of snow. That's now melting on the roof, so sounds like that may just be, you know, melting snow. Spring in Norway. So I will keep knitting on these socks. Again, I will go into full detail once the socks are all finished and knit up and almost ready to go. Okay, so that was the club talk. That was probably a good 15 minutes right there. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but this year the club will only be released as a club, as a collection. That's it. I've previously announced that I am done releasing single patterns to Ravelry, so whenever from this point, that point of the announcement, I design something and release it, it will always be in a collection, as a miniature ebook, if you will. I know that some of you are going to want to ask for me to publish them as single patterns, and I can already now say, no, that is not going to happen. I have made up my mind. I have a ton of patterns already available as single patterns, and those will stay as single patterns. Okay, so we are back to Instagram shoutouts because I now have a brand new computer that I am editing on. Woohoo! My life got a whole lot better when I got that computer. I will upgrade it. When you buy a computer through Elkjøp, which is the store that I always use because I love them so much, I'm not sponsored, I'm just saying. They always have the broadest variety of electric thingamabobs that you might need, you know, in your everyday life, and might not need so much. However, there's almost no sound. I up the volume to a max on both YouTube videos and the computer, and I can hardly hear it, and I have impeccable hearing. I've had hearing doctors race from the chair and look at me funny. That's how good I hear. So I just I need a computer with a little bit more sound. I've gotten these new headphones, but no. No, with very many video editing hours ahead of me this summer, that's just no. Also, the screen is HD, and it's amazing after 4K came to the market that when you open apps on a computer that has an HD screen, the apps actually look blurry. They didn't before, did they? Or did they? And now that's just a selling point to get you to up the ante to a 4K computer. I'm off on a very weird tangent. So, like I said, I have a new computer and therefore also the opportunity to put you guys in here again. Yes, because you know, if you watched before, I have done 2 years in a row now. I did Vlogmas 3 years in a row, and the last 2 years I've accepted video. I don't know when that cut out. I really need to look on those settings. Anyway, I can now insert videos from you again, and like I said, for the last 2 years for video greetings from you, I've added them to my Vlogmas videos, and it has been a massive success, as my mom says. And incorporating your pictures was, you know, just another way to blend the community together. So if you want a chance at an Instagram shout out, all you have to do is take a picture of you knitting on my designs or watching the podcast, or hell, even both. Wow! And post it to your story on Instagram. That is the thing that pops up on the top here. That's the my story part, not in the pictures on here, up there. It's there for 24 hours. And then tag me using the A with the snake around it. I really need to learn the English word for this. Krøllalfa på engelsk. The @ sign. God, that's creative. Anyway, so I wasn't all off there. So make sure to tag me with the @ sign and Nordic Stitches so that I will get an alert about you having done so. And if I feel like it at the moment, or you post something super fun and creative, I will send you a message asking to take a screenshot of that picture and add it here. I want to say thank you today to... I have this on my show notes just because it's been a while since I took the screenshots and I don't want to forget. Okay, so I want to say thank you to Mari Knit Along, or Mari Knit a Lot, not Knit Along, sorry, for watching the podcast and posting it to my stories. This will not work if you do not have an open account. If you have a private account, I can't do this. I need to follow you for that, and I follow enough people already. I can't follow everybody. So thank you to Mari for watching the podcast, and also thank you to Missy Crafty Mess for knitting a stunning version of my Frozen shawl. I highly encourage you, if you're not in the Facebook group or haven't followed her already on Instagram, she knit this beautiful version of my frozen shawl pattern, and it is just all in one color, and I just want to knit everything now in one color because it's just so beautiful. Absolutely amazing. So make sure to check those two people out. Thank you for watching, and thank you for knitting my designs. It is highly appreciated because there are a lot of us out there, and you taking time to spend it here with me means a lot. I have a finished pair of mittens that I've had finished for a few weeks now, and I didn't show you in the previous episode, and I feel super bad that I didn't because they were amazing. But you see, it was still snowing. It's still snowing. But I finished a pair of Narva mittens. This beautiful, exceptionally stunning design is by my friend and fellow Norwegian podcaster Elisabeth. Elisabeth hosts the Salapalooza Knits podcast and designs Salapalooza Knits designs. Sorry. I'm just admiring these mittens so much. This is a low contrast version. It shows up a lot better on the camera than it does in real life, I think. But it's the first time I've knit something with a low contrast and feel that I've gotten away with a beautiful pair of mittens. I just love how she's incorporated this pattern at the top of the palm on the inside. And the designer in me just really appreciate the real small details, that this line right here just follows up here into the gusset area and just up along the thumb and just finishes off right up there. Just frames the whole thing. It's just beautiful. So it is with a traditional cuff, but for this cuff you have a repetition that's dividable by 4. So if you like me knit with I'm podcasting phone. If you like me knit with 5 DPNs, oh my god. If you like me knit on DPNs, having the knit, are you shitting me right now? Third time's a charm. If you like me knit with 5 DPNs, the stitches on 4 needles, and knit with the 5th, this cuff is perfect. And I love this pattern, and I didn't show them last time because they were already being used and they were in the haul and I forgot to talk about them. Sorry, Elizabeth. She's worth your time. She's a wonderful person. She also got to go to EYF. So some of us didn't, and some of us are not having FOMO at all. Also, the lingo, FOMO. God, I did some research to find out what that was all about. What's the FOMO everybody's, you know, talking about, you know, expecting everybody to know what it is. We didn't, you know, because FOMO is the fear of missing out. I don't have that, no, which is why I ramble about it, you know, on my way to taking a sip of water. It's fine. Not a problem. And like I said before, irony and sarcasm is, you know, a common thing on the channel. If you don't like it, find something else to watch. I haven't knit a stitch on the new cardigan that I cast on and showed you in the previous episode. I haven't knit a stitch on it. I'm just... I didn't feel it after I podcasted, even though it's a beautiful one. Yeah, we'll see. When I get up to the northern parts of Norway for the summer and start feeling the summer... It can be quite cold up there during summer too. I might just feel the need for finishing it. But for now, it's just nicely tucked away in the bag, standing by the sofa, reminding me every day that I'm not knitting on it. It's fine. It's fine. I am now also, for the first time ever, knitting a brioche shawl. It is currently living in the project bag that I sewed myself a couple years ago. Love this bag. And in case I'm ever in doubt, I just put on one of these tags that I buy from... Excuse me. You will have known about those for a while. Let's try this again. I buy these from Barbara over at Knitting I Love. Tags, pouches, thingamabobs. I may be a little bit obsessed with her things. Anyway, In this bag, I'm knitting on a brioche shawl, and I am using my own hand-spun yarn. It is amazing. Tooting my own horn. It's a two-colored brioche shawl, and this white natural dyed, undyed yarn is 100% merino. No! Is it the water I'm reacting to? Because I'm not drunk, I think. Unless, of course, they put something in the water. Oh, there's a conspiracy theory for you. Anyway, and this yarn is spun up. This is actually my first 3-ply yarn. I spun this up last summer, and it is called, I think it's Vintage Rose. And it was a fiber blend of merino and silk. None of these are superwash, and they are just amazing. I can't wait to wear this. And it's going to be so beautiful when it's finished. I don't know why it took me so long, but I got up one morning. I've had this pattern in my library since it was released. I went in, I bought it, and I thought, oh yes, I'm knitting that. I don't know if that's 2 years ago, but it might just well be. It's a pattern by Mina Phillip, the one and only knitting expat. It is the squishy shawl. I'm even doing decreases and increases and all, and I'm so I'm so hooked right now. I just want to knit on this shawl. So the idea here was, because if you watched this channel for a while, you know that last summer I knit myself a brioche beanie, a pattern by Andrea Mowry. I didn't feel it. I was like, I don't know what the fuss is about. I don't understand why people are all, oh my god, brioche, it's so amazing. When I was finished with that beanie. But then, like I said, I got up a morning here. I was, you know, hair all over. I was sleep in my eyes. I had one sock on because apparently I forgot the other. And I had a big nightgown on. And I was like, yeah, this is the moment where I'm just gonna love to learn brioche. Because that was a very logical picture right there, don't you think? And I think that it is turning out absolutely amazing. I am loving brioche. I want to forget about everything else that I'm knitting because I just want to knit brioche. Brioche. Dear French, how do you actually pronounce brioche? Why is nothing working?
Brioche.
Brioche. That's fancy.
Brioche.
Brioche. Brioche. Brioche. I think I like the
brioche.
Brioche. Makes me sound fancy. So I'm knitting on a brioche shawl. I'm just gonna hold it up again. So this is how far it is at the moment. Just stretching slightly on it, and that is that really is soft. I haven't, you know, done this. So this is what it looks like right now. This is on the white side, which I chose as the main color, or the right side color. And I thought that I would prefer this side, but I think, and yes, that's a hairpin just holding my coat, because that's just how it rolls. But I actually think that I prefer the rose side. Don't you prefer this side? If you disagree, feel free to not drop a comment down below. I don't care, because I love it. But yeah, I can't believe I actually made this shawl. And I mean, you know, spun the yarn and knit it up, and it is just, the pattern is so easy. I learned very quickly that I lose brioche very neatly. So there's that. I can't believe I never get my English straight. Maybe it's because I'm Norwegian, you know, there's that. I knit brioche very loosely. So I am on a 3mm needle, on my zing needle. I love me some zings. And I love that you can just knit and knit and knit and knit and knit, or you can just brioche until there's no more yarn left. Love me with some of those patterns. If you are in doubt and you think you might need extra help, Very Pink Knits has a free downloadable PDF printable version for you to follow along with. I will say this, I have not needed it for a second because the pattern is just that good. I just wanted to mention it in case you might. So that's definitely a beginner-friendly brioche pattern. The Later app is handy because I've made my first challenge! Instagram knitting challenge! I've wanted to do this for so long and I've tried to be a part of many and always fallen off, and I thought that by hosting one myself I might just actually stick to it. And one of the things helping me do just that is pre-photographing pictures and entering them into the Later app. Yep. The free version of this app lets you connect up to your Instagram account and post 30 pictures for free. That's kind of perfect. And the Later app looks, let's see if I can get that. It's flickering a lot, but that's the Later app and all the other social media thingamabobs that I use. I have an old folder down there for just socials. So the Knitters April challenge. Go to my Instagram again. Well, you need to be on Instagram for this. Look at the post, read on how to pre-post and things and tricks and tips that I have, and I hope to see you join in on that. Also hoping that I will be able to stay on top of it this time. However, I've had a few people already say that they are joining in. People have started to share this on their profiles, and it is so exciting. So make sure to check that out. Okay, I have since the last episode turned 33. Yeah. I don't celebrate my birthday because I don't have anyone to celebrate it with, so it's just a regular day. Like I said before, that's just fine. I haven't celebrated since I was 25. I have no need to celebrate. Also, it was a Sunday. Very boring. Maybe on a Friday. I don't know. Maybe when I'm 40. But, you know, not celebrating is not stopping people from, you know, handing me gifts. I will talk about 2 gifts first, and then I will talk about the last gift and a knitting festival at the very end. So if you're not interested in people being exceptionally generous with their awesome talents and generosity, then this is it for you, I'm afraid. And I hope to see you back here for the next episode. Click the thumbs up, the bell after you click subscribe, and I will see you back here for the next episode next week. But if you are interested in seeing people's talent and maybe be inspired by their generosity, because I sure am. I thought I was a generous person, but I don't get surprised very often, and this time I'm surprised a lot. First gift is from Elizabeth, who I've already mentioned from the Solapalooza Knits Designs and podcast. And this is a No Problema Llama card, and it is amazing. Yep, coming with me on the journey with the gift. I'm packing this and taking it with me on the my several month travel because it is just she asked for my address to send me a card. She did send a card, I just showed you, but she also embroidered me this. If you know me at all, I might have teared up a little bit because, you know, it's very moving and touching, and oh, it says sterk, which is the Norwegian word for strong. I just love this so much, and I can talk more about it now because obviously I'm still very emotional. For heaven's sake, grow up when you're 33 years old. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. I know embroidery takes a lot of time and she doesn't have a whole lot of it, so when she squeezes time in to do that, thank you. I think I've said thank you to her like 1,000 times already, and it's just, yeah. And then I'm gonna insert a clip here, and Allie, I'm sorry for doing this without your permission.
I'm pretty much finished with the Ravelry. I've been talking for hours. But I just wanted to show you one more thing. I dyed some yarn. I was going to show you this in finished subjects. This is called Snowdrop. I dyed this yesterday, or the day before. It dried yesterday. And it's inspired by all the snowdrops that are out in the woods at the moment.
I got it! That's approximately the sound I made too when I actually opened the box and saw what's in it. And what's more is that I opened the birthday box while waiting for a train, sitting in a train station with a whole lot of strangers around me, because I didn't anticipate this. I anticipated some chocolates, you know, a card, and the prize that I won. I did not anticipate this. It is just... I can't believe I have this yarn. She's also included. I'm even more excited about the knit along now that I will talk about later, because I won a prize. But look! It's a disco ball! That's probably gonna be one of my most used progress keepers from this point. And she's also, of course, said it's dodgy yarn. She calls everything she does dodgy, which is, it just isn't, because everything she does is amazing. And she loves lobsters, so she put a lobster on there. And it says, hand-dyed inexpertly in Kent, UK. And it is 1525 superwash wool nylon in the colorway Snowdrop. And it's mine. Guess what I'm knitting on my trip up north. Because the snowdrops haven't started to blossom there yet, and they will be once I arrive. I sure hope they won't be out of bloom by the time I get there. And that way I can knit up socks in this amazingly beautiful yarn by my friend and take a picture beside some snowdrops. It's even speckles in here. Inexpertly. I'm just gonna stop trying to pronounce words I don't know how to say. But look! It has speckles! That is so cool. I'm so sad right now that I don't have a sixth pattern that's called Snowdrops. That's an idea for next year. Oh, thank you again so much, Ali. It is absolutely wonderful, and I can't wait to knit socks with this. I love it so much. She also gifted me some chocolates that I haven't tried before, that, you know, is tradition that I try here on the podcast. So I will do just that before I show you the rest of the yarn. So this is milk chocolate, 6 tea cakes, 10 ox. Still a family business after 1890. If you're from the UK or been there, you probably know about these. I'm not, and I haven't, so. 6 tea cakes, a delicious biscuit base topped with marshmallow and covered with real milk chocolate. It's suitable for vegetarians, which is cool, because I am. Is it not supposed to open? Is this sort of trick? You can't have the chocolate. It just makes me want to have it even more. There's a carnival kind of wrapping. Ooh, that smells very sugary. Just give me a minute. It's a bit more crackers than coconut buns, but it has a similar taste to it though. Okay, I'm just gonna save that for after. That's not all she sent. She sent a couple of minis and my my prize, because I won a prize in her Strictly Sock Along, which is a knit along that she's hosted 2 years running. And I hope that you do it again this year, Ali, because it is so much fun. That's right, I've won something both times actually. I won a pattern, wasn't it, in the first round, and this time I won a sock blank. The other sock blank that Ali had to give away for as a prize actually went to a person. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who you are. So I'm just gonna say hi because I know you're watching. She lives in a city that I can go to. So just a quick message in Norwegian to her. Nå har jeg fått sokkeblanket mitt og sokkeflake, så at nå kan vi jo da treffes og legge opp til sokker sammen. Kanskje vi gjør det før jeg reiser nordover. So basically I'm just asking if we should meet up before I travel up north. Haven't met her yet. I'm just setting out an official invitation to knit with me here on the big YouTubes. We basically just said when we both have our sock blanks, we would meet up and cast on a pair of socks. And I just said that now may be the time to do that. And this is my sock blank. And I also won some Progress Keepers. These are heavy for Progress Keepers. That may just be a very good thing, because these have a tendency to be very light, and I don't use them because of that. Because they're always in the way, but these are so heavy they may actually just hang down. So this is about the sock blank. Fingering weight sock blank, autumn meets spring. It's 100 grams, 425 meters, 75/25 wool and nylon, and it's dyed by Hannah from Sheep's Alley. I haven't opened it up and checked it out yet, so I'm super excited. This is so cool. Wow. Ah, there's a heart in here. Look, there's a heart. Was that intentional? I wonder. That is so cool. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, so that's the heart right there. This is amazing. So if you don't know, a sock blank, or sokkeflak as we say in Norwegian, you start in one end and you take out the yarn, you cast on, and as you knit, this will unravel and the colors on this sock blank will appear on the sock. The sock will knit up a little crinkly just because of the texture of the yarn after having been in a sock blank like this, but after a wash or two and having worn it, it's going to look amazing. And also, I think personally, I have one sock pair that I've knit up from a sock blank, and I prefer that because after having been cranked up in here, it has a little bit more poof to it, so they actually feel a lot better on the foot. So I now have a second sock blank and I am super excited, and I'm hoping to cast on a pair of socks with my fellow winner. How cool is that? 2 sock blanks, and both of the winners are in Norway, not too far apart. So thank you to Hannah from Sheep's Alley for providing Ali of Ali Drops. Drops are wonderful. Somebody needs a break now. It's time to close up soon. From the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast with this amazing prize. And thank you to Ali for, you know, sending it my way. The last... So I'm just gonna ask here because I have apparently forgotten to do so. I might just send Ali a message too. And this is 2 minis. Amazingly beautiful colorways. And it says here, 4-ply or sock, 40 meters per mini approximately, 90% wool and 10% polyamide. That should be warm. It doesn't say superwash anywhere, so I don't, but I'm assuming that it is. I have yarn floof under my nails. That's what you get for being a knitter. It says Folkestone Harbor yarns from the Votes for Women mini skein set. How beautiful are they? So this is me from the future. I forgot to mention that Ali also provided me with an enamel pin that says I love yarn in gold sparkle. I've been wearing it ever since I got it, which is why I forgot to mention it, because I wasn't wearing this Beverton kofte. So yeah, that is beautiful. Ali, your gift is almost complete and ready, and it will be on the way, and hopefully you will get it in time before, well, there's Easter. I will message you about that. Anyway, she also included a sticker of yarn. How cute is this? Hello, little yarn. Hello. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. Okay, that's enough of that. And it is a card here. Doesn't say anything on the back, but it has a clear staple. Knit every day. I solemnly swear that I will knit every day. Unless I break a hand, I may just start knitting with my feet. And I have no idea what this is. Let's grow. If I've sent Ali a message about this asking and received an answer, I will put it on the screen. If not, just look for a comment from Ali down below. So, Ali, what is this? Let's grow. Is it meant to be something that I can use as charms? They're super adorable. Felted. Let's grow. So it's a leaf and a clover, or a shamrock, depending, because it has to be green to be a shamrock, but that is so cute. It's cute and I have no idea what it is. I like it though. The last gift was gifted to me by surprise. Again, I messaged Brit from Brit Strikkenerd, Norwegian language knitting podcast. She podcasts from Freya, which is this island paradise out in the ocean, obviously, because it's an island. Wow. Anyway, Brit is super cozy. I just love watching her episodes. I have a handful of people I just drop things to watch, and hers is one of those. For me, who understands Norwegian, that's one of those podcasts where I just sit down, creep under my blanket, I fix myself tea, not coffee, and I just knit, and I just enjoy the time spent with her on the screen, because I just love the atmosphere that this woman brings. She's also very colorful, and it's just... Anyway, I sent her a message. Do you think maybe we should meet up? Because I was going to Trondheim, which you will have seen in my Instagram stories, and if you follow my other Instagram account attached to the new channel that I was talking about previously. And I asked maybe we should meet up, and it turns out that she was going to Trondheim the same weekend as me, and she was hosting her own little knitting festival, because she was not going to EYF either, Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And so we decided to meet up for her mini touring, because she was moving all over the place in the city to meet several different people. And I was so happy when she said that we could meet up and knit and actually get to meet, because we've only interacted via the interwebs. And so I asked her to meet me in Jordbærpikene at Trondheim Torg, and I looked around and I couldn't see her. And so I just found the one free table that was there, and I took my phone up and I sent her a text and said, well, I'm here, I'm in that direction in this restaurant, you know. And all of a sudden this woman just pops up right beside me and says, there you are. And I was like, what? So I just basically walked by her, and I'm gonna show you a picture. It's impossible not to see her, because she's so beautifully decorated in these amazing knitwear and in so many... You can't not be happy around this woman. She's just this amazing person, and it was so much fun to meet her and to give her a hug and talk to her. And we talked a lot for 3 hours. And she surprised me with a gift. Anyway, I can insert another picture here, by the way, because at the very end of her knitting festival with me, another fellow Norwegian podcaster came along, So Lisa from the Ulltösen podcast, which I love, just their logo is just amazing. They also dye yarn. They are two, but only her came by, and she came by at the very end. We waited a little longer just to say hi. I hadn't met her before either. So it was just this amazing day in Trondheim where I got to meet these two very colorful, amazing knitters, and I just felt so grey and so dull in my beautiful Burdenkofte. Anyway, it was amazingly fun meeting both of you, and yeah. So back to the gifts. Brit said she was I think she was just ordering food and coming back, and she sat down and just randomly said, oh, you know, it's been your birthday. I was like, oh no. Because, you know, I didn't bring my Kleenex. Luckily I didn't need it, because she's so generous with her compliments to me, and I was so touched by so many of the things that she said. Again, Brit, tusen takk. She showed me a secret, which I can't wait to talk more about when that is released and official. Ooh! Just gonna have to close this again because this is probably one of the coolest things ever. But the first thing she gifted me is this splendid yarn. So if you recognize the word Selbu, S-E-L-B-U, that's the name of the Selbu star that you see in so many knitting patterns, very traditional to this area of the world. And they also have their own very rustic yarn. And I've never tried it, but now I can. I can incorporate it into mittens, but I'm gonna wait to use this because I don't have the perfect yarn to match it up with, and I need that. But for now, it's just gonna stay beautiful. And it smells so cheap. It's just, I love this so much. It just, yeah. So it's actually stapled with a date here, January 2nd, 2017. And this is the information in the back. This ain't superwash, which is amazing. Non-superwash yarns tends to warm you a lot better because the chemical layer is just, it's not there, killing the wool's quality of keeping you nice and warm. So yay for that. I am so excited to have my first hank of splendid yarn. And then this is just, I have to really hold this close now. But she gave me an Easter egg. With the boobies on them. How cute is that? The Moomin family is created in Finland, and in Norway we grew up, at least when I was a child, we grew up with this cartoon, only dubbed in Norwegian. And I just love the Moomins. But you see, there's not candy in here. This is just packed of minis. It just makes my heart sing because it is so amazingly clever and just... So it's one day, every day of Easter, I can knit one of these into my square blanket, and it's just so cute. So, thank you so much to Brit for just providing me with this year's Easter egg. It is just, yeah. I've opened it now, so it won't stay on really close, but it is amazing, and I just love the idea. So it's an Easter minis calendar. That is cool. We should make that a thing all over the world. So thank you. Tusen takk. Love it. As always, leave a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and the bell next to it so that you will be alerted when a new video comes up. Make sure to go down below. That's the adult humor kicking in right there. Go down below the video to the comment section. Just write a comment and, you know, interact, because that's the fun part about being a podcaster, is interacting with you that watch. And yeah, whoever you are, wherever you are, be kind, be good, and have a very, very nice day.